We'll start with the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are continuing a study of Taittriya Upanishad Bhashyam. We all come to Upanishad for a study because we are interested in the goal promised by Upanishad. We must be clear about what Upanishad can give us and what it cannot give us. Upanishadic study is taken up for attaining moksha, to understand our real nature. It is not for artha and kama. Artha means money, wealth. Kama means entertainment. Dharma is another purushartha which we learn from Upanishads. So there are two goals of Upanishad. One is to give us Dharma Shastra, what is the right way of living. And the second goal is Moksha Shastra. Moksha means freedom. All of us, we all feel that we are in this body. The body is born, therefore I am born. This is a wrong notion in our mind. That is what the Upanishad wants to convey. We all have an instrument in this body. Body is a house. In this house, there is a jiva. In this house, there is antakaranam, instrument called mind. In this body, there is consciousness, awareness. Three things. Number one, consciousness, awareness. Number two, antakaranam, which is called as the body. Number three, jiva, who is experiencing the world. What Upanishad is trying to teach me is, today I, the jiva, am identifying with the body and saying I am the body and mind. Try to understand this point very clearly. Our goal is for this jiva to turn the attention from the body and the mind to the consciousness, the Sakshi principle in this body. Only when you understand the goal, then you will understand the Upanishad. If you don't understand the goal, this entire Upanishad will be like, it's all some facts you are learning here and there, and, you will not be able to make head or tail of it. What you should know is this, what I have discussed in the last 5 minutes. I'll repeat again. There are three things in this body. One is the mind, which is an instrument. The second is jiva. Jiva is born whenever there is a reflection of consciousness and whenever it is attached to the mind. Otherwise, the jiva is nothing but the sakshi. Sakshi means original consciousness, awareness. We all have the awareness. We all know that I am conscious. But we do not know how to separate the consciousness aspect from the material body and mind. In this Upanishad, the body-mind complex is broken up into 5 covering. The Sthula Shariram, which is the Annamaya Kosha, the born of food, which is the external body, which our indriyams can see, can experience. What is this body? Body is made up of Pancha Bhutas. What is the world? World is made up of Pancha Bhutas. Our indriyams, indriyam means the sense organs, the 5 sense organs, they are designed to experience the material body, material mind, and the world. Beyond this is this Sakshi, which is consciousness awareness. So the food sheath is called Annamaya Kosha. It is not me. Prana, which is the life force in this body, which keeps this, which maintains this body. That prana is also not me. It belongs to Samashti Ishvara, God. Mind. So Pranamaya Kosha is not me. Annamaya Kosha is not me. Manomaya Kosha is also not me. The mind. Chanchalam, Manakrishna. Chanchalam means fluctuating, always thinking of this, that, every day, throughout the day we think of. That is also not me. Buddhi, by which I say I am the doer, that is also not me. 4 koshas gone. The last kosha is Anandamaya kosha, which is the bhokta aspect in us. Bhokta means the enjoyership. We enjoy things in the world. So what is that instrument which enjoys? It is the jiva who connects with the buddhi and the antakaranam. Beyond these 5 koshas is this consciousness, awareness. My entire study of all the Upanishads is to identify what is this consciousness and how I can say I am that consciousness. Okay? If this is clear, now let's proceed to where we stopped last week. We stopped in the 2nd chapter, 7th section, and we are discussing the 2nd verse of this 2nd section. That is our current topic. What is this topic talking about? This 2nd section. This is the 2nd section. Raso Vaisaha. This is the actual verse of the Upanishad. 272. What is this? What is this verse saying? This verse is saying that we all, there is some aspect in this body because of which only the body is breathing. The body is enjoying things in the world. So blessed by some principle, the body is active. It is the same which was the same question was asked in the Keno Upanishad, this mantra. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kena prana prathama preti yuktaha. What is this verse in Keno Upanishad? What is the student is asking in Keno Upanishad? What is that principle by which this body is existing, sustaining, and then it is experiencing? So this verse of the 7th section is dealing with that pure nature of consciousness, which is called sentiency. It is called as Ananda. So Brahman, which means three things: existence, consciousness, and bliss. All three put together is called as Brahman. Try to understand this. See, this Brahman, when it comes in Upanishad, you must understand it is three things put together. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Satyam means it is existence. Jnanam means consciousness, Chit. Anantam means it is bliss. So the beneficiary in this body is the jiva, and the jiva is nothing but it is a reflection of this Brahman. Today the jiva is identifying with the body. That jiva which is identifying with the body has to learn to identify with this Brahman and say Aham Brahma Asmi. That is the goal of the Upanishads. How do I understand this is explained in this verse. And Shankaracharya is a great commentator of these verses. And we are studying how he interpreted, how he understood these verses. We also, if we follow the Shankara Bhashyam, we are all these verses and the meanings are nothing but actual translations of Shankaracharya's understanding of these verses. Sometimes for each verse he writes 2-3 pages of commentaries, which runs into 100 pages of these slides. 120 pages is 3 pages of his commentary because they are very, very deep. The depth in which we go through the Bhashyam study, we can never go through in any other text. So, what Shankaracharya says is that creation, which is this universe made up of Panchabhutas, does not have 3 things. What is the first thing? It does not have intrinsically the function of existence. That belongs to Brahman. So this is the way I understand how I can drop this body and attach to Brahman. Body does not have existence of its own. Try to understand this. It's a very abstract idea of the Upanishads. It is possible for our intellect to understand this at very big depth. A jnani is one who has understood these things very well. And he has claimed that Brahma Sarupa is his Sarupa. It can be a male, it can be a female. That doesn't matter because Brahman is common to everyone. It doesn't depend whether you are a Chinese or an African or a Russian or a Japanese or an Indian, because it is common. If you get this knowledge of the Upanishad, whoever studies this Upanishad and gets this knowledge, he will be free from identification with the body and mind as his self. So creation borrows, this is Shankaracharya's commentary. What I'm taking is what he's saying about how to learn to understand my nature. So mind borrows existence, mind borrows happiness, which belongs to the pure existence consciousness principle. Taittriya Viveka is a beautiful text, which I'm sure most of you might have studied. In that, there is a 20th verse, which clearly states what I have said in the above diagram. What does it say? Asti bhati priya. Asti means existence, bhati means consciousness, priyam means ananda. These are three things. What is the fourth and the fifth? Rupam and nama. Rupam means form. Nama means name. What does these five things are there? Where do you find these five things? In the entire universe, you will find these five things. These are the five things which is there in the entire experienced world. Then second line says, the three things which belong to Brahman and two things which belong to the world. Three things are belonging to Brahman. Which are the three things? Asti bhati priya. It belongs to that pure consciousness. See, sometimes if you understand this one verse itself, you will understand your nature. See, that is the beauty of Upanishads and these texts of Vedanta. This is a very, very powerful mantra. Shankaracharya quotes this in almost every Upanishad. In his commentary, when you go through his commentary, you will find this verse coming somewhere in his commentary, and he will just bring this. The first three belongs to the Brahman, and the second two, name and form, belongs to the world. Let's take the example of I. Suppose you say, I am Chitra. Chitra is a name. The form of the body and the name belongs to the world. But inside that name and form, there is existence of Chitra, there is a consciousness of Chitra, and there is happiness of Chitra. Those three things belong to the Brahman. It is a reflection of Brahman in this body. So Satchidananda belongs to Brahman for everybody. This is the way you have to analyze yourself. In the class, we only give the methodology of trying to understand the scriptures. Each one of you have to ask this question in your own mind. You see, these type of classes which I'm taking is very introspective. While doing the study itself, you have to understand what is the meaning of these verses for me. So in me, the name and the form belongs to the world, but in me, there is the awareness consciousness, the happiness portion, which belongs to some external agency. Today, I don't see it. I don't even know what it is. But this is the way I learn. Suppose you look at a mirror. What are the three things in the mirror? Number one, there is a glassy surface, a coated glass, shiny. Number two, there is a frame which holds the glass. Number three, there is a reflection of my face in the mirror. Try to understand this, then consciousness understanding becomes very easy. Try to focus on what you are trying to learn. When you see your reflection in the mirror, You are not seeing your own original I. Original face cannot be seen by anything. You are only seeing a reflection of that face in the mirror. Similarly, original consciousness cannot be seen by anybody, but we can see the reflection of that consciousness whenever my body is available in the Jagrat Avastha. I can see this body. And through this body, I try to understand what is that consciousness. So whenever I see this body in the morning, when I wake up in the morning and see this, what is happening? I am seeing my own self in this body. What happens when I go to sleep? That reflection which I saw as Chitra in the waking state goes back to that consciousness. You might say, what is this you are saying? Is it all true? Upanishad is teaching me this is my nature. I have full faith in the Upanishads. I continue the study till my intellect understands this consciousness clearly. One day you will say, because Upanishad has got that power to reveal your nature. Very powerful. These mantras are extremely powerful to know your nature, and by knowing your nature, you will be free. The promise of the Upanishad is you will not even take a new birth and suffer in life. Every birth is a suffering. According to Upanishad, that is why it's called as samsara. Suppose you exist and you don't have this problem of the body. So many things you can avoid. But that is the nature which is revealed by the Upanishads. So, how do you say Brahman is a source of Ananda is the topic for our current study. Because Brahman alone is. Whereas the Jiva comes and goes, comes and goes. Jiva is experiencing the world. It is experiencing both Sukham and Dukkham. But Brahman alone is the embodiment of Sukha. That is its nature. The entire material world dissolves into this Brahman. That is its nature. Like the entire dream world dissolves into the waker. That is the waker's nature. Similarly, the entire waking world and the waker resolves into Brahman. That is its nature. Can you see where we are entering? If you can understand and go flow with these thoughts of Shankaracharya, you will receive moksha right now. You don't have to wait. That is why they say that during Shravanam itself, you can have a taste of that freedom. The very same undivided Ananda alone becomes this world. I don't know this Ananda. I have ignorance, avidya. Because of this avidya, I see the world as a reality. This is a very subtle reasoning given by Shankaracharya in almost all the Upanishads. What is the reasoning? Because I don't know the rope, I have the ignorance of the rope. Therefore, my mind projects rope snake. Because I don't know Brahman, which is pure consciousness, my own mind projects the reality of this perceptive world. World is perceived by the sense organs. But is it real or unreal? Who decides? Buddhi. That Buddhi can say with the help of Shastra, I don't have any ignorance. World is experiential, like the dream world. But my Buddhi, along with the logic and Shruti statements, can hold on to that idea that consciousness is reality, experienced world is only incidental. Yo vai bhuma tat sukham na alpe sukham asti. Chandogya Upanishad, in the 7th chapter, there are 8 chapters in Chandogya Upanishad. First 5 chapters of Chandogya Upanishad is only upasana. Meditate on this, meditate on that. 5 chapters. Chandogya Upanishad is very, very big. The last 3 chapters of Chandogya Upanishad is Vedanta. In the 6th chapter, you get Tattvamasi, Mahavakyam. In the 7th chapter, you get Bhuma Vidya. Right now, this verse is from Bhuma Vidya. Bhuma means again Brahman. In the 7th chapter, Brahman is described as bliss. And what is it the Upanishad wants to say? The world is finite, it doesn't have any happiness. Whatever experience of joy in the world is only a reflection of Atma. Sanat Kumara is the teacher. Narada is the student. Narada says, oh, this is the truth. I never knew this. I thought the world is full of joy. Therefore, I went around loka to loka because Narada could go to any loka. He had that visa, no visa problem. He could go anywhere just by the thought. He had that power. So Narada is saying to his teacher, teach me that Bhuma. What is that Bhuma? Which is the source of all happiness. See, why I'm bringing this particular verse is, it gets connected to what is the teaching in Taittriya Upanishad. All Upanishads are all revealing to us the same truth of Brahman. There is a pure awareness principle, consciousness principle, blissful principle. It exists, but my eyes cannot see it. The Upanishads are the pramana. So, na alpe sukham asti. In the finite, there is no happiness. But what is the happiness which we see in the world? It is the reflection, abhasa. In the world, we see the reflection, abhasa, sat abhasa, chit abhasa, ananda abhasa. Ananda abhasa is the Priya Moda Pramoda. All of you know Priya Moda Pramoda very well because we have done it in Ananda Mimamsa. When we did the Anandamaya Kosha, we discussed what is Priya, Moda, and Pramoda. There are basically 3 levels of happiness. Grade 1 is Priya. Slightly higher is Moda. And the third is the ultimate, Pramoda. But all 3 are only reflections. So generally we say that you try to increase your punyam by doing some rituals and doing some chanting. Then your ananda will come. This ananda which comes because of punya karma is only a reflection. Brahma ananda can never be experienced Because for experience, understand, you require the mind. What Upanishad reveal is something beyond the mind. Therefore, don't try to objectify that sukham in meditation. What you have to do then? You have to say, Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that Ananda Swarupa. You might say, I'm saying this, Aham Brahma Asmi, but nothing is happening to me. It is not one time you say it, it has to go deep in your mind. In your subconscious mind, it has to settle. If it settles down in your subconscious mind, you are free. Okay? That is the promise of Upanishads. This is a revision portion. I won't spend too much time. I will see whichever things has not been covered. I will just cover a little bit, and then otherwise I'll skip some of the discussions in the revision. This aspect I have not discussed before. This is Astikas and Nastika. Astikas, there are 4 schools of thought. There are 4 philosophers. Other than other than the Vedanta. Vedas are Veda Purva, Veda Anta. These are 2 philosophers. Veda Purva are called as Mimamsakas. Veda Anta are called as Advaitins or Visishtadvaitins or Dvaitins. So these people who are put here, there are 4 philosophers. For some of you, it may be new because they don't exist today, except yoga. But yoga exists as a practical form, but not as a philosophy today. So there are 4 schools of thought. There are 4 philosophers. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika. These are all very deeply studied in Mandukya Bhashya. I'm just giving you a little bit of knowledge. This is academic, but just learn, just listen to it so that it becomes some more additional information regarding Atma. Sankhya is founded by Kapila Muni. Yoga is by Patanjali Rishi. Nyaya is by Gautama. And Vaiseshika is Kanada. These are the names of the rishis. All of them have written sutras. In the olden days, all philosophy was in sutra form. Sutra means small sentences, which is packed with knowledge. Patanjali Yoga Sutras, they exist. You can go through it's available in the Google. You go search for it, you'll get Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Sankhya Yoga Sutras, some revised edition is available. The original Sankhya Sutras are not available. What is available is Sankhya Karika. Okay, and then Nyaya is written by it's a logical philosopher. Nyaya, Vaiseshika are Tarkikas, logicians who try to prove Atma through logic, but Shankaracharya says it's not possible. Then I told you about Uttara Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa is the rituals part, Veda Purva Bhaga. There is sutras by Jaimini. And then for Uttara Mimamsa, which is called as Vedanta, Vyasacharya has written Brahma Sutra. So after the study of Upanishad, I will be taking Brahma Sutra sessions. I don't know when, but maybe in about 1-2 years' time, I will finish the Upanishads and then take up Brahma Sutra. Because the study of Veda means you study Bhagavad Gita, which I have finished. All the 18 chapters, I have got videos in my website. We are doing now Upanishadic study. We have finished Mundak Upanishad, Keno Upanishad, Kaivalya Upanishad. Now we are in Taittriya Upanishad. I'm starting Mandukya Upanishad next year on Sundays. So I will probably finish that also. Then I'm going to take Katha Upanishad. So we'll be studying these Upanishads. Then Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is the connection of all the Upanishads in one text. It's important to study Brahma Sutra also. Sankhya Karika says, why I brought all this is just to give you a background. What is Sankhya Karika also says that whenever there is absence of the gunas, the spirit exists. We have got Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Beyond this, there is something. That is Brahman. That Brahman is the controller. And the experiencer is a reflection. That is what is the Sankhya Karika saying. Is very, very, Sankhya is extremely logical and it is very, very close to Vedanta. Whatever is a composite entity is Jadam. Composite entity means something which is put together. Body is composite. It is put together by Ishvara. What are the parts in it? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These are the three gunas of the body. Because it is put together, it is Jadam. Whatever is not put together intrinsically is Chetanam. And the one who, okay, this very important point Shankaracharya brings out here is, any Jada Vastu, unless until there is a beneficiary, which is Chetanam, which is sentient, that Jada Vastu is redundant. It is as good as not there. World, this body is meant for the soul which is there inside, for the jiva which is there. The whole universe, the cosmos is meant for Ishvara. So Ishvara and jiva are the two beneficiaries who are there in this universe. Through these logical nature, through this type of logic, Shankaracharya brings out the existence of Brahman. He says, otherwise, what is this world? You will never get an answer about the universe or this body unless until you try to find out the beneficiary of these two. Very beautiful line of thinking of Shankaracharya. See, that is why we do Shankaracharya Bhashyam. Our mind goes in the right way to understand the Upanishads. Okay, this verse is a start of the third verse of section 3. What is the third verse? We have finished the second verse. Now, this is the last verse of the 7th section. What is it saying? It says that fearlessness is one with Brahman. Why is it Brahman has no fear? Because there is no other second thing. And it is describing here in this mantra the nature of Brahman. Brahman is invisible. It is inexplicable. Yato vacho nivartante. That means the words cannot describe. Brahman is something which is unsupported. Unsupported. World is supported. World is supported by Asti Bhati Priya. Unless until Brahman is there, there is no world. And how do I segregate Brahman and the world? Just take the example of our sleep state. In the sleep state, Brahman exists, Atma exists, I exist. That I is called as Brahman. Right now in the waking state, that I is still there. But along with the I, this body is there and the world is there. I remove cognitively, I remove the world, I remove this body. What is there? Brahman is there. If that Brahman alone is there, it is fearless. This is another point which Veda reveals to us. All of us as Jiva, we have fear. What is the fear? What will happen if I am not there in this world? Suppose, what is the fear in all? What is the basic fear in all of us? The fear of death. How do I get rid of this fear of death? Only one way. Only one way. There is no other way to get rid of fear. And this knowledge of Brahman will root out the fear. If you have the clear knowledge of Brahman, you will be fearless. That is the message of this mantra. So important. You see, Taittriya Upanishad has got gems of knowledge. It reveals the intricacies of our nature. In the next section, 8th section, there is a complete analysis of Ananda, which probably we'll do next year. I don't, today is the last session. Before the end of the year, today is the last session. So the last session consists of this fearless nature, which you should understand. Okay. So fearlessness is this Brahman, and one who attains this fearlessness, he is not an ignorant person, he is a wise man. A jnani has no fear. For a jnani, the only source of security is Atma or Brahman. See, Atma means with reference to this body. Brahman means with reference to the entire cosmos. Ajnanis have no security at all because all they know is only Anatma. Anatma means it is perishable. Anything which is perishable is insecure. See how the logic is used? Anatma is perishable. Any perishable thing, including the body and the mind, it is insecure. So suppose you are thinking all the time about your body, about other people's body. Body will one day perish. That is the law of nature. But why are you thinking so much about? Drop it. What then I should think about? Think about Atma. Atma. What is this Atma? You have studied in Taittriya Upanishad, Brahman, Atma, all this, and you have understood Shankaracharya's logic also. When you have understood the logic, you can remain, abide in Atma all the time. You will lose fear. No more fear in you. All the time your mind is conscious awareness, conscious awareness. Pure Atma. But then who's going to take care of my family, about my children in the future? Don't worry. Ishvara is there. Ishvara is a part of this world. The controller of this world has produced this body. He will take care. So the problem of insecurity can be solved not by Anatma, but by only Atma. See, this is a very beautiful verse. Very deep verse. Many people come to Vedanta with the fear of death. Many people, I have had several students, they talk to me privately. the only pill which is available to get rid of fear is jnanam. Jnanam. But what jnanam? Atma asti iti jnanam. There is Atma. That Atma is fearless. Why? Because it alone is. There is no world which is attached to Atma because it is asanga sarupaha. But I have never experienced that Atma. Then the Guru says, you experience it every night, you experience it. Only thing is you are ignorant. Really speaking, that Atma is there? Yes. And I experience it every day? Yes, every night in the sleep. Oh, if that is the case, my ignorance is gone. Because now you have taught me how to see, how to know my nature. Yes, very good. Your ignorance is gone. Your Mula Vidya is gone. If your Mula Vidya is gone, you are a Jnani. If you are a Jnani, you have no fear. Because that Swarupam of Atma cannot entertain the thought of fear. Fear is a thought. So in this, see this very deep verse, if I were to take this verse, it will take a long, long time. But anyway, I will just give you the gist of it so that you can study the notes yourself and then you can appreciate this verse much more deeply. So the Pratignya Vakyam is, what is the Pratignya Vakyam? Pratignya Vakyam means it is it is in a nutshell, it teaches me what this verse is. It is a proposition, Pratignya. Jnanina abhaya hetutvat Brahman asti. Jnani is fearless because he knows Brahman. He knows Brahman not as Paroksha Jnanam, not that there is some Brahman. No, he knows it Aparoksha Brahman. Aparoksha means I am that fearless nature which is called as Brahman. So Brahman becomes a cause of fear if somebody doesn't know Brahman. Brahman becomes the cause of fearlessness if somebody knows the nature of Brahman. That is the essence of this verse. 7th section, 3rd verse, and then you go through all these things, you will get a little bit of more details of how Shankaracharya analyzes this fear. What doesn't perish alone is the truth. That's what Shankaracharya says here in this Bhashya. Because Brahman is Aksharam. It cannot be, there is nothing in the world which can destroy Brahman. Unnegatable thing. That is the definition of Brahman. You keep on negating the word, neti, neti, not this, not this, not this kosha, not the Annamaya kosha, not the Pranamaya kosha, not the Manomaya kosha, not the Vijnanamaya kosha, not the Anandamaya kosha, but it is whatever is the remainder. What about all these koshas? They are all mithya, asad vastu. They are not, it is not possible to remove fear in the mithya world. Because anything which is perishable cannot be depended upon. It's a very, you see, this two topics are there: happiness, which is ananda, and fear. They are both attributes of the mind, and they are analyzed very beautifully in these two, in this 3rd verse of section 7, and in 8th section the entire happiness portion is discussed. They are the kingpins of the Taittriya Upanishad. You know, all this portion after the Panchakoshas, these are all the Vedantic portions. Satyam, which is an expansion of Satyam Jnanam Anandam. all these sections, section 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 sections. All these 4 sections are analyzing Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That is a central topic. Under the topic, these are all subtopics. Fear, Ananda, happiness, they are all subtopics. But then Shankaracharya goes into very big depths. That is why Bhashyam study is extremely critical for a serious student. Reality is something which will never perish, because that is the definition of reality. It is real. Real means trikale api tishtati. In 3 periods of time it exists: past, present, future. And there is only one thing which exists in past, present, and future, which is Brahman. Suppose you say, I am that Brahman, then will you have any fear of the future? No, because it exists. What happened to my past? So many things I think of, all the things, wrong things which I've done in the past. Forget about them, because that is all related to body and mind, which is perishable. Yesterday is forgotten, gone. Whatever you did yesterday is gone. Whatever you did in the morning is gone, perished. So, the pure nature of Brahman is fearlessness. Abhayahetuhu, bhayahetuhu. Bhayahetuhu means cause of fear. Abhayahetuhu means cause of fearlessness. The same Brahman is cause of both fearlessness and fear. If you know what is Brahman, it is fearlessness. If you don't know the Brahman, then it is the cause of fear, because you are attached to the body. Real dependence is only possible on that Brahman as for security. That means, suppose you are having some, suppose you, for example, you have insecurity problem. You don't know what will happen. I have no money, I have no house, and so on. See, if those things in the world for which you have to work, that is a separate matter. But if you want to really have peace, think about your nature, you will have peace. Because that nature is intrinsic, secure. Intrinsically, it is secure. Okay, these are all the verses, commentaries of Shankaracharya on this section. There are several verses. Here, Shankaracharya says that a mumukshu, a seeker of knowledge, seeker of Brahman, he is seeking really the nature of Brahman, which cannot be seen, because it is adrishya. It has got no vikara. No vikara means there is no modification for Brahman. It is adrishyam, it is not a product. That is the meaning of that is the meaning of Brahman. So in short, what he's saying is, all our 3 states of experiences which are changing, vikaras, waking, dream, and deep sleep, they are all savikara. Savikara means with modifications. Avikara means there is no modification. Another word for avikara is nirvikara. This Brahman is nirvikara swarupa. In this verse, this 273, there are 3 words which are used. One is aniruktam, anilayanam, Adrishye Anatmaye. 4 words. These are the 4 words describing Brahman. Like we have other words, Nityaha, Sarvajnaha. We have so many words describing Brahman. These 4 words, which are Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, these are all words, indicators for Brahman. This particular verse is extremely powerful verse for meditation. What is that which can never be defined? Aniruktam. That is Brahman. Because the sense organs cannot perceive it. Anilayanam. Anilayanam means what? Ayanam means support. Anilayanam means supportless. For everything there is a support in the world. For the dream, baker is the support. For the baker, Brahman is the support. For Brahman, what is the support? Nothing. Because it is supportless. It stands by itself. Adrishye. Adrishye means it is invisible. Anatmaye, it is bodiless. It is bodiless, it is mindless, it is invisible, it has got no support, it stands by itself, and it is undefinable. That is the nature of Brahman. And that is what I have to claim as my nature. If I can do that, these are the words. Aniruktam, Anilayanam, Adrishye, Anatmaye. These are the words. If I can understand this nature of words, then I will be able to reach that Brahman in my own mind. It is not an object, but it is the very subject. The 4 descriptions, Adrishya means Brahman is never an object of experience. If you experience God or Brahman, it is not God or Brahman. Very clearly, Shankaracharya says this in almost all the Upanishad. Because it is not an object, it is I, the experiencer, I, the consciousness principle. It is adrishyam. Drishyam is always with modification. It is available now, it will not be available after some time. Experienceable in the past, present, or the future is only one thing, which is Brahman. So Drishyatva means experienceable. It is Indriya Pratyaksha or Sakshi Pratyaksha. If it is Sakshi Pratyaksha means what? It is known by Brahman or consciousness. Mind is not known by the sense organs. Mind is known by consciousness. The world is known by senses. Senses get the power from the mind. But the mind gets its power from Brahman. Okay? Purusha, Brahman, is the Karanam for the manifest world and the unmanifest universe. Both are called as Karya. You see, whenever we talk about the world, we should remember this. Whenever, with reference to Vedantic study. If you're not doing Vedantic study, you don't have to bother about manifest, unmanifest and all. But when you come to the study of Vedanta, you should know how to reach that pure I. Very simple. I'll give you the simple formula. Use these 2 words, manifest, unmanifest. Right now, world is manifest. When the world is manifest, that Brahman is there, along with the manifest world in the waking state. What happens in the sleep state? World becomes unmanifest. But what happens to me? I am that changeless Atma. That changeless Atma is there even when the unmanifest world becomes unmanifest. So can you see the difference between the world when it is in the manifest form and the world which is in the unmanifest form? And also see what supports that manifest and unmanifest is Brahman. That is what in the Upanishads they say your Swarupa in the sleep state is Brahman. See, there are three things which we have to take care. One is Anubhava, Shruti, and Yukti. Yukti takes a long time because it is a process of study of all the Upanishads. Anubhava is very easy because we all experience it. And Shruti is a proof. It is a statement. You are Brahman in your sleep state. That is the Shruti. So you have to combine all three to understand the nature of pure consciousness. Okay? The study of Upanishad is for the Yukti part, study of logic. Because, see, the mind, it gets the knowledge. But that knowledge doesn't remain for a long time. It gets disturbed tomorrow morning when I experience the world, some other things, new things will I'll experience. Again, the knowledge of Brahman will vanish. But for that stability of knowledge, you need to study the logic of Shankaracharya to explain this Upanishadic mantras. That is why I'm taking Shankara Bhashya. I'm going to spend a lot of time, almost next full year is going to be for the study of Mandukya Bhashyam. It may take 1 or 2 years to study Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. But if you study that Bhashyam, you will get the knowledge of Atma or Brahman and you will be able to hold on to it as your Swarupa. Vanamala is a commentary. It's a commentary on Taittriya Upanishad Bhashyam. Shankaracharya has written this Bhashyam. Vanamala is another commentary. It is you can probably Google it and find out, but it will be available mostly only in Sanskrit. Now there, sometimes these notes which I have brought here are taken from Vanamala, where Shankaracharya explanation of Taittriya is further explained deeply, much more deeper. So these three words, remember these four words, Aniruktam, Aninelayanam, and Anatmaye, all these words, Adrishye, try to remember this for your meditation, contemplation, and so on. Here in these slides, I have given why, if you, the logic behind all these words, Aniruktam, Anatmayam, these four words, there is a logic which explains the connection between these four words. I won't go into that portion because it will take a little bit more time. You can study this in your own time. Vikara means modification, and any modification is a karyam. Avikaram means what? It is not a modification, it is changeless, and there is only one vastu which is changeless vastu, which is nirvikara vastu in the world. In the second chapter, of Taittriya Upanishad, the fourth section, which we have already finished. We have seen this mantra, Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasasaha Anandam Brahmano Vidvana Viveti Kudach Kadachaneti. In that verse itself, it said that whoever who knows this eternal truth, whoever knows this eternal truth, he is fearless. But this has to be well embedded in your mind, in your consciousness. Nilayam means support. Supportless is only one vastu in this universe, which is Brahman. Okay, there are 2-3 other aspects of what is the interpretation of Tarkikas regarding Brahman, Adhara and Adeyam. Not so important, so I'll skip that. Apavada Kale, for a senior student, you see, there are two types of, there are two levels of teaching, Adhyaropa and Apavada. In Adhyaropa stage, we put everything as Brahman, as the cause, and say that everything is Brahman. All pervading Brahman is this waker, dreamer, sleeper. Then in the Apavada Kale, that means we negate the waker, dreamer, sleeper and say Brahman is Advaitam. Advaitam means it alone is. This is the methodology followed by the Upanishads. This fearlessness is described in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in this very beautiful mantra. And it says, if there is nothing else but me, what should I be afraid of? From that alone, his fear was born. For that was there, till that was there, he had fear. See, this is the proof. This is the pramanam. See, whenever we try to take anything from the Upanishad, we should always see which is the verse in the Upanishad which says this fact. What is the fact? Anybody who knows that Brahman alone exists, he is fearless. Anybody who thinks that the world exists and Brahman exists, he is full of fear. Dvaitam is fear. Advaitam is fearlessness. Advaitam is moksha. Dvaitam is bandhaha, samsaraha. See, these are the verses which talk about the Advaita principle in Vedanta. These verses explain to us the Advaitic nature of Brahman, non-dual nature, which is possible for a senior student to understand. For a junior student, what do we say? Brahman is the Karanam and the world is the Karyam, and that's all. But for a senior student, we say, drop the Karanam and Karyam, go beyond that to what is beyond Karyam and Karanam, that is the real Brahman. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadabhakta murtinaha mastani sarva bhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha. Very powerful verses of Bhagavad Gita which explain the nature of Brahman is in the 9th chapter, the 4th verse and the 5th verse. There is not a single Upanishad where Shankaracharya has not quoted these two verses. I am pervaded by the world. The whole world is nothing but me alone. Mastani sarvabhutani. I am, the whole world is me. Fourth verse. Then in the very next verse, fifth verse, Nachamastani bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram. Bhuta prinna cha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. In the immediate next verse, he says, world doesn't exist in me, I alone am. When we study Bhagavad Gita, these two verses, when we first study the Bhagavad Gita, these two verses, we will not be able to understand. But when we study the Upanishads like Taittriya Upanishad, this becomes easy because our mind has grown. See, when we study Upanishad, it is a growth of the mind. How do we interpret this verse? From the Paramarthika level, from the Brahman level, there is no world at all except Brahman. That is how we can say there is no existence of the world except me alone. Pure consciousness alone is the truth. That is our final goal. The 48th verse of the third chapter of Mandukya Upanishad. See, these are all links to explain Taittriya Upanishad. I'm quoting Bhagavad Gita, I'm quoting Mandukya Upanishad, I'm quoting Keno Upanishad, I'm quoting Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. See how many Upanishads we are bringing, because we are trying to explain fearlessness in Brahman. Mandukya Upanishad says that the last verse of the third chapter, 48th verse. Third chapter is the Advaita Prakaranam in Mandukya. Advaita means the essence of the entire Jagat universe is Advaita. One word, 48 verses, Shankaracharya's Guru's Guru has written. 48 verses on one word. Advaitam. Prapancha Upashamam is another word. One word. He writes 38 verses to explain one word of the seventh mantra of Mandukya Upanishad. Such deep is our Upanishadic study. In this verse, what does he say? There does not exist any cause except Brahman. There is only Brahman in the world. Just know that pure God. God God has got two forms. One is Vyaktam, that means this, what we see as the world. Another is Nirguna form, which is there is no gunas in that God. What is we see is Sagunam. Nirgunam is the real nature. Similarly, the man, human beings also have two aspects. One is with guna, which is the body, mind complex, which is the chitra which I was talking about. Name and form. What is the Nirguna portion? Brahman. Asti Bhati Priyam. See, today's talk is extremely deep. If you follow this, today's talk is very, very subtle topic, but you would have got the gist of Upanishads. The entire Taittriya Upanishad beautifully explained in this third verse of the seventh section. The whole commentary of this third verse of the seventh section is beautiful. In your own free time, just read Shankaracharya's these commentaries. From the notes, you can avoid my notes, read these commentaries, you'll get a very deep meaning. Brahman doesn't have any adharam. Adhara means support. Everything else has got a support. Consciousness is the support of the universe. Consciousness is the support of the waker. Consciousness is the support of the dreamer. Consciousness is the support of sleeper. But for consciousness, there is no support. Adrishye, anatmaye, anirukte, anilayane. 4 words. All the descriptions refer to one Advaita Brahman. Advaitam can be explained, the whole Advaitam principle. Shankaracharya uses these 4 words as a proof, pramanam, to refute Dvaitins. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Buddhists, Purva Mimamsas, ritualists, all these people are Dvaitins. Whereas Shankaracharya is Advaitin. And these are the ways in which Shankaracharya has refuted. You and me can understand the logic of Shankaracharya. In our own minds, we can also learn what Shankaracharya taught others. That is why this deep science by which Shankaracharya's teaching methodologies we follow, and we come to know our own real nature. Brahma anubhava nasti, anunubhava nasti, Brahman avishayatvad. That means what? I always abide in Brahman, whether I know it or not. Tonight, when I go to sleep, where will I sleep? There is only one resting place for all the jivas in their sleep, and that is Brahman. Kathopanishad says, Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam tatharasam nityam agandavat. All the 5 elements are responsible for the 5 sense experiences of the 5 sense objects in the world. The world is nothing but the 5 sense objects coming into our mind. In the past, in the present, in the future. Kathopanishad is very powerful. This mantra is extremely powerful. What Kathopanishad Yamadharmaraja is teaching here is that just learn to drop your sense objects and ask the question, who am I? You will land, nowhere else you will land except Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi will be your conclusion. Sarvakarya Dharma Vilakshane. All the products of Panchabhutas will be dropped in this one knowledge, which is the knowledge of Brahman. This portion, the next portion of Shankaracharya deals with grammar. Sanskrit grammar. I will skip this because it is not relevant for you and me. So it talks about adverb. People who know Sanskrit can go through these notes and you can enjoy them. This is again a revision about the 4 words, Adrishye, Anatme, Anirukte, Anilele. These are 4 words. Don't forget the whole Taittriya Upanishad rests on these 4 words plus the 3 words in the beginning, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Try to go deep try to understand the depth of these 7 words. 4 plus 3, 7 words, you would have understood the whole Taittriya Upanishad. Fearlessness can be our attribute. We can realize this fearlessness if we understand our own nature. Abhayam. Abhayam means fearlessness. Okay. Abidance in the Atma. That's what is this fearlessness about. What is the practical advantage of abiding in Atma? Practical advantage is you are free. You're free from the sorrow. You're free from fear. You're free from anger because they are not in Brahman. These are all, it cannot be in Brahman. But that is, see, this is the knowledge. If you know, if you don't know this knowledge, you are ignorant. You are a jnani. If you know this knowledge, the nature of Brahman, if you know properly, that it does not admit anything. No second thing is admitted in Brahman. And that is what you are in the sleep state. Nanatvam, duality, goes away in Advaita Atma, not in Dvaita Atma. Sankhya, Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, they all believe in Atma Bahutva, that there are many, many Atmas. Only in Advaita Atma you can have fearlessness. Okay, I think I will stop here. There is this verse continues, and see this third section, this 273. It's a very big commentary, and what I will do is I will continue this because it's an important till this here 891 is this seventh verse description. Okay, so I will just continue this. I will glance through this again when we start, and we will. So we have done up to this portion, abidance in Brahman. So what is the nature of duality? What is the nature of non-duality? We will start this slide number 859. We will start this on the next class will be in January on the Saturday the 13th. 13th is a Saturday, so our next session will be on the 13th for Taittriya Upanishad, and 14th of January I will have I will start the Mandukya Upanishad. Okay, so 13th of January we'll meet again for this Taittriya Upanishad 273, the second chapter, 7th section, slide number 859. We will start from here. Then we will continue to the 8th section and the 9th section. Just to tell you in brief, what is the 8th section? The 8th section is an analysis of happiness. What it is an analysis of Ananda portion of Taittriya Upanishad. The 9th chapter is a summary. I mean, it's we'll go into it later on. We'll see. These are good. These are all very important portions, like today's portion. You see, I don't want to cut this portion and go off to the next section because I feel that this is an important section. I still want to continue the study of this bhashyam for this particular verse itself. Then we'll study the 8th and the 9th, and then we'll finish this chapter. Okay, so it will be a continuation of this Taittriya Upanishad on the 13th of January. Okay, so till then, if you want to learn these notes, you are free to do it. You can study it. We have all these notes in the Upanishads. If you are really serious about studying them, I can send it to you. You can write to me. I can send you what are these notes. You know, there are 3 more volumes. Each volume is 200 pages. So totally there's 1,500 pages of notes for Taittriya Upanishad. We are covered up to 860. That is another 700 pages are remaining for Taittriya. You can slowly at your own time read some of these notes. These study which we are doing is extremely deep. It requires mananam, means self-reflection, for better understanding of our nature. Mananam happens automatically once your mind is ready. The more you listen, there will be a time when your mind will say, I have got enough Shravanam, then it will automatically start the Mananam. After Mananam, it will say, it will start. These are all the natural processes. It will say, I have done enough Mananam, I know what is Brahman. Now I want to claim that Brahman as me. That is called as Nididhyasana. It is an automatic process, it will happen. After Nididhyasanam, you don't require any study because your mind has gone through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These three are intricate mental processes. When you study, when you come to Vedanta, you will be taken into these three stages automatically. It will happen. But Shravanam must continue till the end. And the best Shravanam, according to me, is the Shravanam of Shankara Bhashyam. And 2-3 years, if you can study these commentaries of Shankara Bhashyam, I will be taking Prashna Upanishad Bhashyam, Katho. I will take, after some time, I'll take Prashna Upanishad Bhashyam also, after Taittriya is over. I don't know, I'm leaving it open for the time being. So with this, I will close for the day, and I will see you again on the 13th of January. We will announce it in our WhatsApp group when we start, as usual. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamathaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. For those who want to study Mandukya also next year, you can join the group. I think the link was already sent to you before. If you're not sure, we will send you the link again. Okay. Shanmugam is opening up the chat box now. Oh, Sankhya Shastra and Sankhya Yoga. Okay. See, Sankhya Shastra and Sankhya Yoga is the same. Sankhya Yoga is just another word. Kapila Muni is the founder of Sankhya Shastra. Sankhya Shastra, okay, Asha has said Sankhya Yoga talks about our real nature in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Oh, okay. See, we should not confuse between what is Sankhya philosophy, which is propounded by Kapila Muni. Sankhya philosophy or Shastra is Dvaita philosophy. The word Sankhya is also used by Advaitin. In the 2nd chapter, Vedavyasa uses Sankhya Yoga. The 2nd chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. There it is not the meaning of the Sankhya Shastra of the Sankhya philosopher. That is a different, it is a different methodology. It is a different philosophy. That is Dvaitin. Sankhya Yoga of the Bhagavad Gita is Advaita philosophy. What is Advaita philosophy, which is Sankhya Yoga, is what Shankaracharya is teaching us in all this Taittriya Upanishad and all that, what we have covered. Just to tell you in short, Sankhya Shastra is very close to Advaita. It also believes that there is consciousness which is eternal. It also, like Advaita, it also has a lot of commonalities. We will be studying this in Mandukya Upanishad in the 3rd chapter. When we study the Mandukya 3rd chapter, this will be explained in very big detail. The entire study of Sankhya will be done, and refutation of Shankaracharya for that Sankhya Darshana will be done. I will tell you the main difference between Sankhya people and Advaitin who follow Sankhya Yoga. Advaita says there is only one Atma. That Atma is reflected in many minds and jivas are born. Sankhya philosophy says that Atma is consciousness, but that Atma is Bahutva. That means in each body there is an Atma. You have an Atma, you have a consciousness in this body, another person has an Aga, but it is not a reflection. It is independently existing Atma. And the world is matter principle. But that also exists independently. That is the difference between Advaita and Dvaitin. Sankhya says that the world is also real, Atma is also real. But what Shankaracharya says is, if you say both are real, you will never have moksha. In duality, there cannot be moksha. There cannot be freedom, because each one will limit other. Whereas an Advaitin, there is moksha possibilities there. Because you say ultimately everything is dependent on this consciousness, one consciousness. Anyway, we will, as you study more this difference between what we learn in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, see this chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, the verses starting from 12 to 25, all are talking about Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is also called as Sankhya Yoga, but it is another meaning of Sankhya, Advaitam. But Sankhya philosophy of this Kapila Muni is Dvaita philosophy. Asha, have I made some clearance of the doubt for you? You can just unmute yourself and let me know if you have understood what I said. It's a very deep question.
Yeah, the thing is, Devahuti, she attains moksha by Kapila Muni's teaching. And also, I think they talk about 24 principles or something like that.
Correct, yeah. But Shankaracharya refutes that. You see, they claim that they can get moksha also. You see, yoga also says we can also get moksha, but that moksha, what they claim, is Dvaita philosophy.
Okay.
Same thing with Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, and Vaiseshika. Vaiseshika also says our philosophy is the best, and we can get moksha from that. But Shankaracharya refutes all of that. In Brahma Sutra, 2nd chapter, if you study it, all these are clearly refuted. So Sankhya, so you have understood the difference between Sankhya Yoga and Sankhya Shastra, right?
Yeah.
So that is the first basic question. Once that is cleared, how it is being refuted, you have to study either Brahma Sutra or Mandukya 3rd chapter.
Yeah, one is Advaitic way and another is Advaita.
That's correct. Correct.
Okay. Yeah. But both of them have the 24 principles. That's what.
Both of them means?
Like, even in, we also use 24 in Advaita.
Yeah, we can use, it's correct, that's correct. We also use 24 principles, correct. They also use the same principles, but ultimately the conclusion, see, the conclusion of Sankhya is ultimately it is Dvaita. Yoga also concludes and says, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, after I remove all the thoughts, it says there is Dvaita. Shankaracharya says your conclusion is wrong. Up to Chitta Vritti Nirodha, I also accept. But don't conclude that you are there and the emptiness of the thought. Both are there. Don't conclude that. What he says is that you are still seeing an object. The seer is important. Seer is Advaitam.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good. It's a very good question. Anybody else has any other question?
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, Shanta, go ahead.
Yeah. This whole thing of, I mean, I have no doubts about Advaitam and Dvaitam, and it's very much clear after all these talks. My question is more about this Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So, after doing so much of Shravanam, we have already got into the Mananam. There is no doubt about it. We are thinking about it all the time. But my point is, what is that switch? Guru is, I mean, they always say that for becoming parangat in any kshetra, you need a guru, right? So to walk you from this mananam to nididhyasanam, is guru, presence of guru anivari? I mean, necessary.
Yeah, see, in the last stage, the guru cannot help you. In the Nididhyasanam stage, the guru cannot help. In the Mananam stage, guru cannot help. In the Shravanam stage alone, guru can help. The Mananam is by study of some texts which are related to Mananam, like Brahma Sutra. See, there are in Brahma Sutra, when you study, the first 4 sutras are extremely important. It tells you Shastra Yonitvat, it tells you that the entire study of Shastra is for only knowing your Brahma. So those aspects of some doubts in your mind can be cleared by Brahma Sutra, which is Nyaya Shastra. It is a logical text. But the last stage, which is Nididhyasanam, is your own personal internal change. And that change is possible only after you have done enough mananam. What is the actual thing which we do in Nididhyasanam is, see, what a stage comes in your mind when you are a little bit clearer about consciousness, and I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. Some clarity has been. But this clarity doesn't remain for too long. Therefore, you need Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is a process by which you continuously say, Aham Brahma Asmi. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. I am not this body. I am not this body. I am not this mind. This 2 statements, I am Brahman, I am not this body, mind, it is the stage of Nididhyasana. After some time, what will happen? I am not this body, mind will drop. And what will remain is I am Brahman alone. See, this Nirvana Shatkam mantras are extremely powerful at the Nididhyasanam stage. Oh. All the Nirvana Shatkam mantras, I am not this, I am not this, I am Shivoham, Shivoham.
Shivoham, yeah.
Correct. So that is extremely powerful mantra. Keep on remembering that. That's all. Every day you can chant that Nirvana Shatkam stotras.
I do.
And you will find that you are getting into very subtle levels of your mind. You see, the mind is a very complex instrument. And and you can understand this complexity. The more and more you study Vedanta, you can understand how complex and how subtle is this mind. See, with a whiff of, in a split second, your mind can change. A thought is so powerful. It can completely change your understanding of the world. And that thought ultimately is only destroyed by jnana. And the jnana is aham brahmasmi jnana. And it is a level. These are all different levels of the mind only. It is the mind which goes through these changes as your study of Shravanam increases. See, when you study these bhashyams, when you study these bhashyams, what you will realize is that your depth of this understanding of Brahman will really go up. It's not easy for me to explain to you, but you will realize that.
Yeah.
There's
So
a question here. Okay, let me complete with you first. Yeah.
I needed to actually, I mean, the reason why I asked is because during the Mananam, you have so many questions. And I felt that probably to answer those questions, a guru becomes anivari. Having a guru becomes anivari. As you mentioned about this Nirvaka Shatkam, I just have one question on it, and that the last sentence where he says, Na cha sangatam naiva muktir nameha. So I'm neither bound nor free. Now, how do you actually explain that? I mean,
Very good. It's an
uh,
extremely good question. Good. I got your essence on it.
yeah.
See, I'll be frank with you. Shanta, what happens is this particular question answer. I
Mhm.
am neither liberated, I am
Nor
neither
bound.
bound.
I mean, in Bhagavad
This
Gita also he says that,
correct. But this
yeah,
you can
yeah.
only find the right answer for this only when Brahman's clarity comes in the mind.
Mm,
Till you have some obstacles in your mind for the knowledge of clarity of Brahman,
mhm,
this I am neither bound, neither this thing, this
mm,
you, it is an experiential thing. Nirvana Shatkam, this particular portion, what you're asking, is
yeah.
an experiential explanation of a jnani.
Mm.
I'll
Yeah,
just
because
give,
the rest all
I
is
will
quite easy
I will try to
because of,
give you I will try
yeah.
to give you the gist. I will try to explain it in my own words.
Mm,
The way you understand this is, for example, in the sleep state, I'm telling you, you are Brahman. If you
mm,
are Brahman there in the sleep state and there is no world and you alone are there, you exist in sleep. Now, in that sleep, can you say you're bound? You cannot say.
no,
Can you say you're free?
no,
You cannot
no,
say.
because I wake up.
So it is Advaitam and it doesn't allow anything else to enter.
Mm,
That is the nature of Brahman. So if you understand, it's like the black hole of the scientists, In the black hole, nothing else is visible.
mm,
In Vedanta, Brahman is like that black hole where there is nothing. There's nothing. There is no. It is a status of singularity.
mm,
Nothing else is there except Brahman. That is what exactly is. So there is therefore in that state, how do you express that? You will say, I was bound, I had freedom, but that was only a thinking. It is only a jnana dhyasa. Jnana dhyasa happens in the waking state. When you are connected with the mind as real. In the waking state itself, you say mind is unreal, I am real. That means in the waking state, you are claiming you are Brahman. You're not waiting for the sleep state. In the waking state itself, you say, Aham Brahmasmi. It is a truth for me because I have known and to differentiate. My mind has already got that Viveka Shakti now. How did it get it? Because of the study of Upanishads. By removing the doubts about this Brahman, my mind has got the strength to, and that strength is called Viveka Buddhi. That Viveka Shakti is there now. Therefore, it is very easy because I am free.
No, but this
Suppose
is
you
quite
only
easy,
see,
Mahoday, when you're talking in
suppose
terms of a sleep. Sorry to interrupt you,
no,
but
I'm
it is.
I'm saying that not sleep. I'm saying that drop that sleep nature, which is a tamo guna.
Mhm.
Right now, it is not a tamo guna. You are in the Jagrata Avastha. What you are only dropping in your mind is that tamo guna avastha. It is a state of the mind which you say it is not me.
Mm.
Even in the sleep state, you say there is no, there is no freedom. There is no, in the state of sleep itself, there is no seeker. There is no seekerhood in the sleep state. But that is a sleep state of the mind, which is a tamo guna. In the Jagrata Avastha, it is a Sattva Guna, pure Sattva Guna, which is Brahman. And how do you invoke that Sattva Guna? You invoke that Sattva Guna by saying that I drop everything else. I have dropped my mind, I have dropped the world, I have dropped Neti Neti, I have done. So what is balance? In that balance is what Shankaracharya writes and says in Nirvana Shatkam, I have no buddhi. When the buddhi is gone, there is no seeker for freedom, or there is no person which is saying there's no individuality left. In Brahman, there is no individuality left. I am Shanta, that individuality is gone. I am in Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that consciousness. I am no more that Venkatesh or Sumana or Shanta. I am pure consciousness. In that, there is no seeker of liberation or seeker of freedom. That is what is the meaning of Nirvana Shakti.
Okay, Dhanyavad. I'll do some mananam on it. Thank
Now
you.
you're getting it, right?
Yeah, but I do need to think about and
Think
try
about
to
it.
get it in my own
Yeah,
mind.
replay this, whatever I've said, this answer, try to replay this yourself and slowly, step by step, go through that analysis of I am not the waker, I am not the dreamer, I am not the sleeper. They are all only adhyasa. It is all superimposition on the pure Atma. When I stand as Atma, there is nothing except Atma. And that is what is called as Nitya Mukta Sarupaha Brahman. This moksha, it is not attained. You only learn that I was ever free. See, body is born, and if I have thought that that body is me. Body is born, it is definitely not, it is there, it is experienceable. But what is experienceable is not the factual essence of me, the consciousness. Upanishad introduces me to a higher level, higher reality, which I never knew. All of us, we go through the body and the experiences. But Upanishad reveals to me something beyond the body. And I can hold on to it. Many people who have studied the Upanishad, what we are doing now is the ultimate study of Upanishads. Really, this is the essence of all Vedantic study. Shankara Bhashyam is the essence of all Vedantic study. You may study many texts, but this is really the best what is available in our Shastra. Okay, I will just go through two other questions. JP says that if Brahman cannot be revealed by Mananam, you mean the entire study will be of no use? No, no, no. See, study means Shravanam. Shravanam means listening. You're listening to the Shastra. You're listening to three things. Number one, Bhagavad Gita. Number two, Brahma Sutra. Number three, Upanishads. All listening is connected with these three. Prasthana Traya. What I'm saying is, Mananam is connected to Shravanam. If you have not done Shravanam, there is no Mananam. So the study of Shravanam is extremely important. You cannot say the study of Shravanam is useless. You can do only Mananam. You can never do Mananam without Shravanam. So Mananam is for clearing the doubts. How can I be Brahman? I am this body. I am experiencing the world. I've got so many problems in the morning, evening. How can I be Brahman? This is a doubt.
Yeah.
How do I remove this doubt? I remove this doubt by understanding what the Upanishad is saying. Upanishad is not telling me about my experienced world. It is telling me something which is beyond the sense organs, which is the truth. So I have to understand the essence of the Upanishads first. All study will purify the mind to ultimately realize Aham Brahma Asmi. Okay, so that is JP. Do you have anything?
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, now let me go to Asha again. Also, one can use Brahma Nandavali 19 verses for Nidhyasana. Yes, very beautiful verses. I agree with you, Asha. You're perfectly right. Brahma Jnanavalli, I have taken this text. If you go to my if you go to my class notes, you will find my notes on all these 19 verses. They are excellent verses for Nidhyasana. And see, Nidhyasana is a personal study, and it is something which is like saying, how can I be the body mind? But again, you have to come back to I am this type. The nature of Brahman is what you have to be very clear about, and that clarity you will get only by this Brahma Jnanavalli study or Nirmala Shatkam, or all the verses of Upanishads which describe Brahman in the best possible way. Today we saw Kathopanishad, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Magandam. That type of mantras. Mandukya 7th mantra. These are all the mantras. You should keep it in as a pocket book. Whenever you have a doubt, go to that. You will find that mantra will open up and bless you. See, mantras have the power to reveal the truth. Mantras have the power to open up, clear all your doubts. Believe me, they have the power. And the more you study these Upanishads, that power you will start realizing. You will realize that power in your own mind. It happens in your mind. It's a magic. It's really a magic. When you read some of these mantras at the later stages of your study, like Asha has done now, what happens is that mantra opens up and it reveals the truth. It opens up, reveals the truth. And if it does this, say 25 times or 50 times in your lifetime, all whatever doubts you have, gone. When all the doubts are gone, what remains? You alone, you know that is me. That's it. And that is your Jivan Mukta status. Good. Bharat is saying Jiva in ignorance is Asti Bhati Priyam. Rupam Nama. If you remove Nama and Rupa with Upanishadic knowledge, Shravana, Manana, Nidhana, Satchidananda, Atma comes in. That's correct. Perfect. Bharat, you have said exactly what is there in that mantra of Dritrisya Viveka. Perfect understanding. Good. As long as you are ignorant, you will always be thinking about Anatma. What should I do here? What should be the future? What will happen to this? What will happen to the past? You know, all your thoughts will be only concentrated on the Anatma. When will this Atma Jnanam abide? That is what is called as Jnanam, abidance in Atma. When your Shravanam has really peaked and your doubts are cleared and Nididhyasana process has been completed, it is a guarantee you will abide in your Atma. It is guarantee of Upanishads, which says that go through this process and you test it yourself. You will 100% agree with what Upanishad says is your Swarupa. It doesn't say that you will not experience the world. It only says you will realize your nature, which is your ultimate nature. And you'll be free from this drama of waking, dream, sleep. It's an activity. It is something. It goes on. You can't stop it. Bharat, you want to say anything else?
What? Huh? Take me one.
Okay.
I thought she's
Yeah. Okay. Next is Venkatesh. Isn't it through the mind only we get nearer to understand Brahman in meditation? Yeah, good question. See, mind is a friend, mind is an enemy. It's said in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, it is said in Amrit Bindu Upanishad that mind is your friend. At the same time, mind can be your enemy. When is mind your friend? When you have learned the Upanishads and you are using the Upanishad together with your mind and conducting your life. You know your pure consciousness. You have no problems at all. That is your nature. You are Asanga Swarupaha. Asanga means what? This one word Asanga, Shankaracharya writes several verses in the 3rd chapter of Mandukya Upanishad. Asanga. One word, Asanga. Asanga means what? It does not have any connection with the material world. That is the nature. It's like the sun. The sunlight is by nature it is light. In sun, suppose you are stationed in the sun, you will never have darkness. But from the earth, you will experience darkness. Similarly, if you remain as consciousness, you will have no ignorance. Nothing at all. There is nothing called as ignorance. If you say, I am pure Atma. When do you get ignorance? When you forget that I am Atma and you identify yourself as the body, which happens naturally during our waking state. It's a natural. You start acting right in the morning, right from the morning, you are active. But through your activity, if you are able to remember that nature, that is what is called as abidance in Atma. So to answer your question, Venkatesh, through the mind only, yes, we understand. But through the mind, we learn how to drop the mind. Through this study, what we say is The mind is only an instrument. It's like the pole vaulter. You use the mind to go up to the pole, and then you drop the pole to go to the other side. To go to the side of Brahman, you have to drop the mind. Am I clear?
Yeah, because what I wanted to understand was that because meditation doesn't mean switching off the mind, but keep contemplating that the mind is there to understand Brahman, right? Because it's not like switching off the mind that is what we are trying to achieve in meditation.
Correct. See, there are two schools of thought. One school of thought says you switch off the mind. That is yoga philosophy. Chitta vritti nirodha. That means you switch off your mind and you will be with the self. That is yoga philosophy. But that is not recommended by Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya says, even till the end, you keep your mind. That mind ultimately will drop by itself. You don't try to do any chitta vritti nirodha and all that. What happens is you develop a thought and say, Aham Brahma Asmi. These are two different schools of thought. One will say you try to maintain that mindless nature, thoughtless nature. What Shankaracharya says, it is useful. It is useful, but come to the study. Don't try to drop the mind there itself and say that there is nothing after that. Because then you might end up with Shunyavadis. There is nothing. Everything is nothing. Everything comes from nothing only. What we try to do in meditation exercises, I have more than 150 sessions of meditation in my notes, in my website. You can follow them. Shankaracharya's method of meditation is learn the process of contemplation through meditation. See, Vivek Chudamani verses, I have taken almost like 20 verses so far. They're all based on Shankaracharya's contemplation theory. You use the mantra, contemplate. Use the mantra, contemplate. When you contemplate on those mantras which talk about your Swarupam, your mind drops and it gets a taste of that nature of Atma.
Oh.
Once you have tasted, once your mind has tasted that nature of Atma, which is revealed by the Upanishadic verses only. Once the mind sees that that is the real, cause of the mind itself, it will never forget that nature. That is what is called as Mula Avidya Nashaha. You see, the three knots, Mundaka Upanishad says you have to drop the three knots. The main knot which we all have is this knot of body and mind as me. Body and mind is me is called as avidya. Our whole waking state is the state of avidya according to Shankaracharya. He says this is state of avidya. You are in state of avidya. You don't know yourself, therefore you are thinking all this, whatever is going through in the real is what is real. No. So using the mind through this Vedantic meditation is a fabulous exercise to reach the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Good. I'm very glad that there are so many students here who are so deeply thinking about all these topics. Bharat, you're back here. Is your mic okay now?
Hello, hi, can you hear me okay?
Now it's fine. Go ahead. You made some remark, which was the correct remark. Did you have anything else in mind when you said this, the Taittriya Viveka? Did you have anything else here?
Oh, only to say that I totally agree with you. It's recalling the deep sleep state right now into Jagrat. You use that as a support to show that your real reality is actually something beyond the mind. It's a form of inference, but it's a very, very helpful aid
Yeah, powerful, very
during
powerful.
nididhyasana. It's very, very powerful. It's you suddenly click that, oh my God, I'm not the mind. It's a very it's completely unlike any experience.
That's correct. And it is not in the sleep state because you're
It's
doing it
not
in the Jagrat. You see, you're in the waking state. That is what
you-
is called as the Brahman, knowledge of Brahman.
exactly. In the sleep state, there is even then when you go to sleep at night, you suddenly have this notion, even during deep sleep, you have this notion of presence. You have a notion of presence where there's no dreams. You then experience dreams, and you notice that gap when there is no dream, but yet you still have a good night's sleep. I can't really explain it anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to add that what you said about Mandukya Upanishad, I think everyone is really going to enjoy it.
That's correct. Yeah. You see, it's a great Upanishad, and it removes so many of our doubts. It's
Yeah.
that's the beauty of that Upanishad, and I have not come across any other Upanishad which is so direct, which can help a student to understand Vedanta. There is no other Upanishad I have found so beautiful and so deep. You see, the thing is, Mandukya, we study even Taittriya is very deep. You see, I have not gone into that depth because when I see the students who are here, most of them are beginners or they have just got into Upanishadic study and so on. So I'm not taking it like the 4 words today I said plus Satyam Jnanamandam, 7 words. But one can go very deep and uh, maybe perhaps later sometime, but I want to cover Brahma Sutra also. So
I have to apologize, Shakaji, that for me, Taittriya Upanishad, I went through it on my own a few times now, and the explanation of Satyam Jnanam Anantam and the Brahmanda Valley is just beyond magical. Shankara's Bhashyam is just the logic used is. Even now, all the hairs are standing on the end of my body.
That's correct. Yes,
It's
it is
very,
very
very powerful.
powerful, very very powerful. It is as good as the bhashyam of the 7th mantra of Mandukya.
Absolutely. And where,
Yes.
for me personally, Mandukya Upanishad and the Kena Upanishad, to understand epistemology, knowledge, what does it mean to even to have a thought? Who is this person thinking? I think Mandukya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, and please, I would love to hear your commentary on Prashna Upanishad. I studied
Oh,
Prashna
Prashna
Upanishad.
is still another very important
Yeah,
Upanishad.
the last question is superb. Shankara Acharya, the way he explains everything is just beyond words. So I just wanted to let you know all that information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, good, Bharat. To all people who are listening here, my only advice is spend more time on Shankara Bhashyam and the study of Shankara Bhashyam as much as you can. And you will find tremendous depth of meaning and tremendous depth of you will discover your own mind. See that, and there's no words to describe the joy you get by the study of these bhashyams. And it may be difficult, but slowly it takes time. But be at it, you will enjoy it. Towards the end, you will say it was worth it. Okay.
Mr. Shekhar,
Yes.
I have a question. The mind and the thought and the consciousness. The mind and the thought are not supposed to be are illusion. The consciousness is real. So the question that I'm having is, let's say thoughts and mind are instrument. The consciousness is formless. So in this, if we are going to, as a human being, if we are going to talk about the sequence, is the thought, the consciousness, which one come first? Thought first, mind first, or consciousness first?
It's a good, very, very good question. Okay, I'll explain to you. See, let your mind, and I'm giving you a simple exercise. All of you can try this. Yeah. Her question can be answered only mainly when you yourself, but you have to do this exercise yourself. What you have to do is, in your own mind, try to bring the sleep state. Okay, in your own mind now, in the waking state, try to understand who you were in the sleep state. What was your nature? Not the nature of the body. Not the nature. Okay, in the sleep state, obviously the mind was not there. Okay, so definitely you were there. What is that who which was there, and how was it? That is what is called as consciousness. That is the starting point. Don't take the body in the waking state as the starting point, which is a mistake all of us make when we are in the study of spiritual science. We all make this mistake initially. Till the teacher tells you, don't start from this waking state with this body where you're seeing this body, you're seeing the world. Don't start from here. In the waking state itself, just close your eyes and then say, I had sleep several nights in several days in decades, so many decades I've had sleep. Okay. All my sleep states were the same. And that sleep state, I can define it in two ways. I can define it in the negative way, or I can define it in the positive way. Normal being who does not get exposed to the sleep state, he will describe it in a negative way. He will describe it in a negative way. The negative way is, I did not know anything. I had some sort of a relaxation or some joy in sleep. That's it. That is negative explanation of sleep. Same sleep state, now you look at it positively. Positively, what do you say? I am pure witness in the sleep state. This is a positive description of your own self. A normal person will still say, 99.9% will still say, tomorrow morning I had a good sleep, and then they'll continue the day and they'll forget about everything. But a person who has gone through the Vedanta study for, say, 4 or 5 years, like Jacqueline, you have done it for 4 or 5 years now. So what you have to think properly and assimilate. This is called as assimilation. What you have to do is, you should say, okay, I was there, but then, there is nothing in the world which will tell me who I was in that state and what I was in that state, except the study of Upanishad. Upanishad has got a light which reveals that state of yourself when the world was not there, body was not there, mind was not there, not a single thought was there, zero. But I was there or not? Yes. That is your eternal nature. That is your Atma. That is the consciousness. Consciousness is an English word. It is just a word. But what is that consciousness? The nature of that consciousness, word cannot describe. But your mind can travel right now in the waking state and say, oh, that is it. I'm pure. I'm a pure being. I'm not a being with the body Body and mind awareness comes to me only in the waking state. But my real state, which the Upanishad says is my real state, it is my eternal being. That being can never be negated. It doesn't have any death. It doesn't perish. It continues. So to answer your question, consciousness is first, mind comes second, and thought comes third. Thought is an effect. Thought is a product. It is a product which is born. Mind is a product which is born and it will perish. But consciousness never perishes. It is beyond the cause and effect. It is something which is spiritual. It is not material.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but then but then yes. Consciousness is one which is deep, mind and thought. But then the mind, which is the mind and thought are instrumental, and therefore is illuminated by the consciousness which is formless.
Correct. Perfect.
So it's originated from consciousness also.
Yes,
The mind and the
mind
thought.
is born from consciousness, it dissolves into consciousness. Consciousness
then-
always is eternal. It is always there. There is something in me which is always there. That Jacqueline is a name which comes in the waking state. But
Yeah,
consciousness is my real name.
okay, appreciate. But then we are human beings, right? Okay.
Again, your human being means you're again linked to the body.
Yeah, but every day we wake up, we link to the body. When we sleep, we are
Good.
consciousness.
I think you got the message. Yes.
Okay, appreciate.
These question and answer sessions are really fantastic. You know, it takes you and it can reveal yourself. I don't know. I enjoy these Q&A sessions. A lot of people have also written to me and saying that we enjoy your Q&A sessions. Okay, thank you. And I wish you all, everybody, a very happy new year on the 1st of January. So we'll catch up with you again on the 13th of January. And thank you. Namaste. And goodbye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
Happy
all.
New Year.
Namaste. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Appreciate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to our dear sir.
Okay, Ajita. Thank you.